Prepare to embark on a spine-chilling journey as we delve into the mysterious world of cryptids in this episode of our podcast. Join us as we unravel the tales of two elusive creatures that have captured the imagination and sparked fear among those who believe. The infamous Chupacabra and the ominous Jersey Devil. Tonight on Newsworthy, 2 words and 2 question marks.
He's alive!
Have you checked the children?
Get out!
You have scoured the podcast world and finally found us, Newsworthy with Steve and Jerry, where we delve into all things mysterious, macabre, or out of this world, and decide if they are truly newsworthy. 2 words and 2 question marks.
Hello, I'm Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. Tax season is upon us. Did you know that 47% of Americans are planning to use their tax refunds for everyday expenses, home improvements, and vacations? What if you used your tax refund for a new home instead? Again, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. Your tax refund can be used towards down payment, closing costs, or paying down existing debt to help get approved. So before you spend that tax refund, let's get together and see how to best utilize those funds to invest in your future and your new home. Call or text me at 502-680-0953. Again, that's 502-680-0953. NMLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisitions, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, NMLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is an equal housing lender.
So, Jerry, I just got a notification that a UFO was spotted over New York City.
No, surely not.
No, seriously. It was on one
Are
of
you
my...
serious?
Yeah.
My goodness. I've said it before. I have often wondered how many lists you've signed up for. I'm beginning to believe the answer is all of them.
I mean, I haven't seen the picture yet. It's still downloading, so we'll see what comes of it. So this may be Newsworthy's final episode, if this is the big one, if we are being invaded.
What was it Red Fox used to say?
Oh, it's the big one.
What was his ex-wife?
Oh, I don't remember.
Myrtle? Something? I don't remember. Myrtle, it's a big one. I'm coming, Myrtle. Funny show.
Yeah, that show, the Jeffersons, Archie Bunker, none of those shows would be acceptable today.
No, not even close.
But man, they were hilarious.
Yes, they were.
Back
Very
when
much so.
We didn't care to joke and poke fun at ourselves.
Wasn't life easier then?
Yeah.
When everyone wasn't critiquing everything to make sure it was politically correct. You know,
Yeah.
it just, if it was funny, it was funny, and everyone didn't get so butthurt because, someone told a joke that possibly could relate to them.
Right. Just
Give it a
stupid.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got some new exciting stuff going on today.
We do.
I'm stoked. I'm
Absolutely.
completely stoked. So if you were one of the 200 people who got our Facebook ad that we were running all week, didn't even know he's running an ad, Jerry's like, what?
I did not.
That said we have a big announcement this week. Well, we do. We'll get to that in just a second. If you are one of the 7 people who negatively responded to that ad, get a life.
There you go. Absolutely.
Facebook is one of those things that you can, the people that get all bent out of shape on Facebook drive me insane.
Yeah.
All you have to do is keep scrolling.
There you go.
You literally don't have to do anything except swipe a
Scroll
finger.
And if the same person bothers you enough, there's this little button up at the top. I
Says
rarely
block.
use Facebook. You can block, you can unfollow, unfriend. So many
Whatever.
options if it's really bothering you to get out of it.
So if you're one of those 7 people, I am not in the mood to apologize tonight. Sorry, get over it.
one of
If you're one of the other people that gave us a thumbs up or clicked on an episode, we're glad you're here. Thank you.
Yes, we are.
We do have big, exciting news, especially for us. Something we've never done before as a young podcast.
Yep.
Jerry, you want to tell them?
We are going to the Bigfoot Festival in Logan, Ohio. I do believe it is early August.
The Hocking Hills Bigfoot Festival. We have officially been invited.
Yep.
And
August 3rd, 4th, I think.
Second and third, fourth.
Okay.
Yep. It's the Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Hocking Hills in Logan, Ohio. We're going to be live there. We're going to be doing interviews. We're going to be doing, meeting folks, giving away some bumper stickers, and just having a grand time. We'd love to see you. If you're a fan of the show, come out and see us, talk to us. Be prepared to get on mic and interview with us, because
Yep.
we're going to have a blast. We're going to try to turn that into just a big time, and we're going to, because we're a part of it, we're going to be bringing it up a lot. In fact, we have a guest coming in, I think, next week, and we're just going to do a whole show on Bigfoot. So we're stoked by that.
Absolutely.
Stoked by it. I'm excited. You know what I'm not excited about?
No, what's that?
They say that upwards of 80% of owners let their pets sleep in their bed with them.
Really?
Yeah, but that's great. Ramona would love to. Unfortunately, my goldfish didn't. It didn't make it.
I can see where that'd be a problem.
Yeah, it was bad.
I was, speaking of bed, I was actually lying in bed this morning, and I was just looking at my ceiling.
Really?
I don't know if it's the best in the world, but it's up there. It's up there.
Jerry. So we've also, that was bad.
That was good.
So we have, like I said, we have a guest coming in next week. We got this new exciting
Miss Sarah,
going on the road. We're trying
Logan,
that.
Ohio.
We are also this week doing some video shorts. They're going to be posting
Yes, we are.
in conjunction with our episode, which if you see one of those, like it, subscribe. It's going to give you a direct link to our show and be able to download a podcast. So,
By the way, just for full disclosure, it is a test. We're going to make sure that people aren't too put off by our faces, and so we possibly will continue.
well, Jerry, if it, I'm the only one here who has a face for radio.
Oh.
You will.
No.
You're going to
You
be
have
the
said
one.
many times that
You're
my
gonna-
face is the one for radio.
You're going to be the draw here. You're going to have people lined up. Just
in my own mind.
let's see Jerry.
Sure.
So we had to clean up our area here a little bit. My grandfather, he passed away a long time ago, but I loved him. The last things he told me was that if you invest with your money in good speakers,
Good speakers. Huh?
yeah, that was some sound advice.
Oh, man. Can't argue with that.
My first joke was so bad, I figured I'd hit it with the second one. Sorry.
I got you. Well, since we're going to do two, my first joke tied in with yours, right? Both were in bed.
Yeah.
I'll let my second one, and this is totally unplanned, by the way. I had no idea you're going to do two jokes, but my second joke that I was considering doing is also about my grandfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When I die, I want to go like my grandfather did.
Really?
In his sleep. Not like the 46 passengers in the bus that he was driving. What? Everyone wants to go in their sleep. What's the problem with that?
Holy Lord. Oh, mercy. Wow. Okay. Well, there
Probably
you
what
go.
some of those 46 passengers were saying. Oh, Lord, please help us.
Mercy.
How was your week?
Busy week, man. Had a busy week. I've been
Very
helping
nice.
a certain fella try to buy a house, and I got my son's actually looking to buy a house, so
There
I've been
you go.
trying to help him, and
On
you
top
know,
of your regular jobs, yeah, sounds like you are having a busy week.
yeah, and that's my other job, I am in a blessed situation that both of my careers right now, and I do have, well, I mean, three if you want to loop this in, because a lot of people who don't do podcasts doesn't realize in order to do it how much time it takes.
Sure.
But all of them are in a position where I get to help people. And, you know, on here, we try to help people forget things and have a good time and be able to decompress.
Sure.
You know, real estate, I try to help people buy their dream home or a first home or whatever.
Right.
And in my other position, I get to help people every day as well. And man, it's all good, but I got to learn to put some boundaries up because, you know, they keep, you know, I'm a yes person. Let's get it done. Let's figure it out. And if I don't see somebody else out there that can handle it the way I feel like I can handle it, then I try to step up and do it. And sometimes that can be, you can put your foot in just a little too far.
Yep.
But I'm
true.
right about on that teetering on that level now. I got to just stop doing because I already don't do anything according to what my actual job title is. And that's okay. That's fine. You know, they're utilizing me for what I bring to the table. So, but I'm really excited. I'm about to start teaching and training at where I work now. And you know, that's a huge responsibility given the people that, let me put it a different way. The people I'll be training, what those people do in the community
Right.
is a huge responsibility.
Sure.
And I get to help train those people do that. And I got to, you know, be able to put a good deal of time into it. So
That's something you'll be very good at.
yeah. So it's, you know, that's a long way of saying it, but I'm excited for it.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
starts in just a couple of weeks. So I've been building up, doing all the, you know, the training.
Preliminary work.
The preliminary
Right.
work, the slideshows, and all that good stuff. So, anywho, busy week.
Sounds like it.
And 48, I'm just going to say, I'm 48 years old. I turned 49 this year. 48, I've dealt with the whole cancer thing that everybody knows about. And just about every injury I've ever had in my entire life has come back to kick my tail this year. For the last 3 weeks, I haven't been able to walk normally, and that really sucks.
I can imagine.
So I'm finally almost at the end of that and can't wait. And I am setting myself up. I was going to bring this up. I am trying my absolute best to set myself up to have a better 49 than I ever did 48.
There you go.
One of those
Hopefully
things.
the last 9 months of the year will be far better than the first 3.
I'm telling you. One of the things I do plan on doing, and we got a fun topic tonight. I don't think it's a real serious topic. I was like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And it's one of those kind of like we did voodoo. And we were like, oh, this is going to be huge. Oh, it really isn't. So that's why I'm running things a little.
Voodoo really was that way with me.
It was me too.
There was just so little there once you start digging into it.
And my topic, we've got 2 topics tonight. My topic is kind of the same thing tonight. But anyway, one of the things I really want to do at some point this year is quit and just kick the sugar habit. Not all sugar. I want to have fruit and natural sugar, but all the processed sugar, and that is so freaking hard.
Yes. How long has it been since we did our show on sugar?
That's been
That was
6
one of
months.
the early, no.
6, 8
that.
months, yeah.
We did that one early on. But yeah, sugar
Sugar's
really
a
is
drug.
one of the, not only a drug, one of the strongest
Yeah.
drugs, one of the hardest to kick drugs.
Yeah, and I'm going to knock it out this year. It is a literal, because, you know, I like donuts. Anyone want to watch a video, you'll see I'm a donut eater. I like Pop-Tarts. I
Who
like,
doesn't like donuts?
right. And to be able to push that away and say, no, I think I'll have an apple instead, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I think our health, if we are willing to just give a little, the benefits far outweigh what we're willing to
absolutely.
invest.
No doubt about it.
You know,
I've long lamented the fact, and you think it would be you and I agree on a lot of things politically, but on this one we disagree. I believe that a government should help. Most governments of first world countries in the world do not allow companies to make and poison the people the way that they're allowed to in the United States. You talked about when we did the episode on sugar. Look at cereal alone.
Yeah.
Go to Europe and look at the ingredients of the same brand, Frosted Flakes, whatever it is, and then come back to America and look.
In Europe, Frosted Flakes has 4 ingredients:
Yeah.
sugar, corn, whatever preservatives that is, and something else.
And
That's
here
it.
It's like 47.
We have 5 different types of sugar on the same series. It's 3
I
paragraphs
really
for
wish our
cornflakes.
government would be a little stricter and try to help promote public health by being a little less tolerant of some of the things that are not allowed in most other countries, but America tends to. Like you just mentioned, the very fact that in Europe, you'll have one type of sugar, and here you look at the ingredients of a lot of cereals, and you'll have numerous types of added sugar.
And half of those are not even real sugar.
Yeah.
Process this high. I can't even say the word.
Yeah.
High fruit.
Fructose,
Thank
corn
you.
syrup.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do, and this actually is natural, but if you want to include something like stevia, which is a natural product, but doesn't have doesn't have any real sugar,
Right.
but it still is not considered an artificial sweetener, if I can get it out, that I can understand. But yeah, you're right. Certainly wish you the best. It's not an easy habit to kick, and I certainly wish you success in it.
Yeah.
You
So-
mentioned our 2 topics.
Yeah. I guess we probably should get to those, huh?
What is yours this week?
I am covering the elusive, the deadly, the Spanish-speaking, I'm making that part up, Chupacabra.
Chupacabra. Hey, it's got a heck of a name. You got to give it that.
It does. And, some people around here would call it the Chupa corn on the cabra.
Yeah. Someone, if I'm not mistaken, that was their fantasy football name this past season.
Yeah. So the Chupacabra is actually one of the newest and youngest, if you want to put it that way, cryptids that we can cover. It was based down in Puerto Rico. Now they've been seen in Mexico. They've been seen in the United States, down in the desert Southwest. And I'm using air quotes on this. It was first sighted in March of 1995.
Oh, that is one of the newer ones.
Yeah. The creature's been reported as far north as Maine and as far south as Chile. I say Chile, but it's Chile. Even outside of the Americas, in countries like Russia and the Philippines, the reports are anecdotal and have been disregarded as uncorroborated or lacking evidence. But sightings in northern Mexico and southern United States have mostly been verified as a old nemesis of the Old West. And we'll get to that in a little while. But let's talk about what Chupacabra means. It literally translates as goat sucker. And the reason is the creature was, in folklore, was known for being a vampire. Basically, it would find goats and livestock, and it would suck their blood dry.
All right.
It was said to leave most of the meat. It would just literally
Wanted the blood. Physical descriptions vary. In Puerto Rico and Hispanic America, it is generally described as a very heavy creature, reptilian or even alien-like, roughly the size of a small bear, with a row of spines reaching from the neck all the way down the tail. And then in the southwestern United States, it's generally depicted more dog-like. Weird, strange sounding.
Very strange sounding. I'll be happy
Creature.
to. We're going to add a picture to the description. We'll add a couple of pictures actually, because there's a difference. There's a couple of different pictures that people use now. The history says that this actually goes all the way back down to a series of livestock killings in a small town of Mocha, Puerto Rico, all the way back in 1975. 1975, however, is a fantastic year. Just want to throw it out there. All great things were made in 1975.
Yeah, a decade late.
No, it was perfect.
Yes.
It was actually perfect.
By the way, for those who don't happen to know his age, that was the year Mr. Stephen was born.
So back in in Mocha, Puerto Rico, sometimes people were thinking it was a satanic cult, but then it started being attributed to wildlife. But basically, there was numerous animals that had been found that had been had a couple of like puncture wounds and had the blood literally sucked out of them. Puerto Rican comedian and entrepreneur Silverio Perez is actually credited with coining the term Chupacabra soon after the first incidents were reported by the press. Shortly before the first reported incidents in Puerto Rico, other animal deaths were reported in countries such as Argentina, Bolivia, Belize, Chile, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Peru, and the United States.
These bad boys get around.
For something that has never had an actual picture, there are a bunch of them out there.
Sounds like it.
And, you know, the problem is, in 1995, when the first official sighting takes place, there was a movie that had just been released. It was a science fiction horror film called Species. If you look at the creature from Species, looks a whole lot like the first descriptions of El Chupacabra.
Strange how that often works, isn't it?
It really is. Also, the reports of bloodsucking by the Chupacabra have never actually been confirmed by necropsy. The only way to conclude the animal was drained of blood is by this necropsy. I guess they take the animal. It's kind of like an autopsy.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But out of the 300 reported victims, none of them had been bled dry of blood. The problem is, according to most scientists, when you come upon a dead animal, and if it's not bloated, it's what? Shriveled. I mean, there's
Right.
once you die, your body goes through a process. Typically, as the bacteria and the creatures grow inside you, not to be gross, you swell up, and at some point, all of that goes away, and you start to shrivel, and then you look like you've been drained of blood. Depending on where you are and what time you find said creature, and we're talking about the Southwest in Mexico, where it's very hot. This process goes very fast. It
Sure it does.
wouldn't take, if you were in Maine and you died in the winter, it's going to take you a lot longer to decompose than in the middle of summer in central Mexico.
Absolutely.
So, anywho, the appearance of these is as soon as you hit the border, northern Mexico and southern United States, it becomes a very canine-like creature. Most, if not all of these, has been attributed to something we even have around here, coyotes.
Yep.
Coyotes they will eat pretty much anything.
Yes, they will.
They're pack animals. And in cases of scarce food, they're not a bit afraid to attack livestock. Also, these coyotes that people see typically are either have, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this word, it is a bacteria that causes hair loss, or they have a different what's the word? They have a different condition called mange. Bears get mange. Anything that has fur can have the opportunity to get mange. If you want to see something that is unbelievably scary, check out a black bear that has mange. You're talking about a weird looking creature.
Sure, it would be. Where would one go to find a black bear with mange?
Google.
Just Google.
Yeah, Google that picture of black bear with mange. Anyway, most of the scientists that have seen pictures, actual pictures of Chupacabra, say that it is a coyote with mange. Mange is a debilitating disease. Not only does it affect their hair, it makes their hair loss, it also makes them weaker, slower, and would mean that they are more prone to attack livestock, which is a much easier prey. So that would be the biggest explanation as to why they're going after livestock. Unfortunately, as much as I love a good conspiracy, as much as I love a good cryptid, and we both know that I do, right? Yes, I'm pretty sure that most of Chupacabra's victims is strictly based on a mangy coyote.
Just coyotes.
Yeah. I did a lot of research on this topic because I was kind of excited to cover it. In fact, we were going to just do one topic tonight. We were just going to cover Chupacabra. And I got to doing the research and I was like, yeah, you're going to have to do something different because that's not a full show. So,
my brother, you've heard me say this, he raises goats. And got several of them, I don't know, 150, 180 of them, I think. To be able to protect them from the coyotes, he has to run them with some dogs. They're Anatolian Shepherd livestock guard dogs. These are big dogs. And that's what they do. They're trained for it. But not only are they trained, it's the majority of it is their instinct.
Yeah.
They are going to protect these animals that they're put with, whether it's goats. He has some with his cows, but cows don't typically need the protection that goats do. But, yeah, he had goats for, 6-8 months, and he real quickly figured out he was not going to be able to stay in business. They were just going to wipe out the entire herd without the guard dog. So.
Yeah, and if they're weak, they're going to attack that even more because goats aren't really a good, it's easy prey.
Yeah, absolutely. The young ones, the mothers, the big dads will tend to fight back a little bit, and they'll, mess with them a little bit. But as you mentioned, they're also extremely good at hunting in packs.
Right. 2
or 3 will be in front of the dog, and that's the one the dog thinks he's fighting. And he lunges at him, but he never touches them, and they never touch him. And it's the ones, they're just the deterrent. It's the ones in the back that come up and cut his hamstrings.
Yeah.
And, that.
They're any animal that hunts in packs are vicious.
They are.
Lions, you can watch lions and the female. I watched a video the other day of a pride of female lions trying to take out a couple of giraffes. And it was a giraffe mother with a baby. Yep. And there was a couple of other giraffes. It was one of the few times, and I hate seeing that. You're always pulling for the prey or whatever. You're like, no, you got to get away. And this time they actually did, and the lions took a beating.
Yep.
And the giraffes had it, they were almost impressively smart. So, like, the baby was just starting to stand up for the first time. So very unstable. If you've never watched a baby giraffe try to stand for the first time, it's insane how that has to happen. So the lionesses attacked. And instead of defending the baby, I was like, what is she doing? The mother took off. Well, when she did, that drew all the other lionesses to her. And then 2 other giraffes came and got the baby, stood up and took the baby off. And then the lionesses got their proverbial asses handed to them because this giraffe was like having none of it. She was going back to see her baby.
What was she using? Her kicking?
Yeah. She kicked one. I bet she kicked it 20 yards. It just kind of laid there. It was like, what the?
Zebras are known for doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They turn their heads together and their rears facing out and just start kicking.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, everything has to happen for a reason. I understand the circle of life. I get that. But every once in a while, it's good to see the the underdog win.
Yeah, especially when the underdog is a kangaroo, something, you know.
Oh, kangaroos would kick somebody's ass. I don't care about a kangaroo.
Oh, you don't like kangaroos?
Not even
kangaroos. Yeah, they're cute.
Giraffes now,
Giraffe,
they got my heart. Kangaroo don't give a hot crap.
Not at
Speaking
all.
of, so let's talk about the one we're covering for you. It's the world's worst hockey team, right?
Isn't it, though? Yes, the Jersey Devil. I'll be honest with you, until I started looking for... At first, you're right. We were going to do a show on the Chupacabra, and it was going to be... This was a big one. We'd heard about it, and it was certainly big enough to do an entire episode, and pretty quickly it was like, okay, maybe not. Maybe we need a second cryptid to go along with this.
I can't BS enough to make mangy coyotes work. I'm sorry.
So I started looking around and come up with one that I had previously never heard of. Had you ever heard of the Jersey Devil?
I had heard about it, but I had no idea that it was all that it is.
Yeah, I had never even heard of it.
And it reminds me of, what was that show based on the island of Dr. Moreau? Is that right? Where he would put all things different. Oh, what was that? I don't know.
Sounds vaguely familiar, but
Yeah,
I don't think I saw it.
he would like blend animals together.
Okay. Yeah, well, that certainly goes along with this guy.
Yeah, I'll look it up and see.
Yeah, sounds good. You look it up, I'll start.
Yeah.
For those that don't know the background, in Philadelphia folklore, the Jersey Devil, which is also known as the Leeds Devil, is a legendary creature that is said to inhabit the forest of the Pine Barrens in South Jersey. I think you've already found the name of it, haven't you?
Yeah, it was the island of Dr. Moreau.
Okay,
I don't know why. 1896 science fiction book by H.G. Wells.
Oh, I'll be done.
Yeah, definitely. It's what it reminds. We'll post a picture of the Jersey Devil, it just screams Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, the
but go
description
ahead.
you gave was perfect. Yeah, it's said to inhabit the forest of the Pine Barrens in South Jersey. The feature is often described as a flying biped. That means 2 feet. Think of an emu or an ostrich. So a flying biped with hooves. But there are many different variations. The common description is that of a bipedal kangaroo-like or wyvern-like creature. Now, wyvern is a type of mythical dragon. And it has a horse or goat-like head. Are you beginning to get what Steve's saying?
Yeah.
So far, we've got kangaroo and dragon, and it flies with a horse or goat-like head. It also has leathery, bat-like wings, huge leathery bat-like wings, horns, small arms with clawed hands, legs with cloven hooves or split hooves, and it also has a forked or a pointed tail. And it has been reported to move very quickly and is often described as emitting a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream. Now, I have no idea if this animal is real or not, but folks, I could stop right there. That's got to be one of the coolest descriptions of a animal / bat / kangaroo / cryptid / dragon, whatever, that I've ever heard of. I mean, seriously, if that description doesn't make you say, what the hell? I have no idea whatever would. Now, this isn't a new story by any means. The Lenape people, who are an indigenous people of the northeastern woodlands, who were in this area centuries before white people ever arrived, they believed that the area was inhabited by a spirit called the Imsing, which sometimes took the form of a goat / deer-like creature with leathery wings. And most... Okay, I just lost my spot. 1 second. Most people that tell the legend of the story of the Jersey Devil, they trace the devil back to Mother Leeds. Miss Leeds had given birth to 12 children, and she was about to give birth to her 13th. And the story goes that Miss Leeds invoked the devil during a very difficult and painful labor, and that when the baby was born, it either immediately or very soon afterwards, depending upon the version of the story that you are listening to, grew into a full-grown devil and escaped from the house. Another version of the story says that it was when Miss Leeds found out that she was pregnant with her 13th, that she said that if she were to have one more child, quote, may it be a devil, end quote. Another version is that the child was born a monster and that Miss Leeds cared for the child until her death. In this version, the child/devil flew off into the swamps after Miss Leeds died. Now, you got to keep in mind that people in the 1700s still believed in witchcraft. And many people in this time period felt that a deformed child was a child of the devil, or that the deformity was a sign that the child had been cursed by God. So it may simply be that Miss Leeds gave birth to a child that had a birth defect. And given the superstitions of the period, the legend of the Jersey Devil could have been born from that. Now, in any event, there does not seem to be any subsequent reported encounters with the Jersey Devil and when it actually harmed anyone. In the last 200 years or so, there have been a number of reported sightings, and we're going to go through a few of them. According to legend, while visiting the Hanover Mill Works to inspect his cannonballs being forged, Commodore Stephen Decatur sighted a flying creature and fired a cannonball directly upon it. In another instance, Joseph Bonaparte, the older brother of Napoleon, is also claimed to have seen the Jersey Devil while hunting on his Bordertown estate around 1820. Sightings also include one in 1870 by a Long Beach fisherman who said that he saw the Jersey Devil serenading a mermaid. I really seriously believe that this gentleman had lost the last of his marbles, or he had found some very good drugs, one of the two. In Greenwich Township in December of 1925, a local farmer shot an unidentified animal and said it attempted to steal his chickens. He then photographed the corpse. Afterwards, he claimed that none of the 100 people he showed it to could identify it. So obviously, it must have been the Jersey Devil.
Must have been.
Now, up to this point, it's like many stories. I'm left thinking that, yeah, either they lost their marbles, they were on some very good hallucinogenic drugs.
Found some mushrooms in the woods.
Possibly.
Something.
But then...
What convinced you that this was worthy?
Well, not that it was worthy necessarily, but then I read about the 1909 sightings.
Oh?
The best-known sightings, and far and away the hardest to explain, occurred in January of 1909. It started when Councilman E.P. Whedon of Trenton, New Jersey, claimed to have been awoken by flapping wings outside of his bedroom window. The councilman said he found cloven footprints in the snow outside, and several other instances of similar footprints were reported in Trenton at
now,
the
was
time.
this Christmas time? Because it could have been a rain.
Shortly after January.
Okay.
So maybe just on their way out. Who knows? But in the end, hundreds, if not thousands of other people in the area claimed to have seen this devil within a week or so of the councilman's sightings. And news of the multiple sightings were reported in several local papers. And the January 1909 sightings were not limited just to New Jersey. There were reported sightings across the river in Pennsylvania and even some in Delaware as well. 3 different states.
Wow.
Furthermore, police in Camden and Bristol, Pennsylvania, supposedly were firing at the creature to no effect. So this is a different ballgame. You know, when you've got the guy that says he saw one serenading a mermaid, okay, fine. But when you've got several hundred, possibly thousands of people that are telling the same story, and at least some of them very believable, reputable people, police officers from 2 different towns, that's when I'm beginning to think you can't get a room full of people to agree on some made-up story, not for a long period of time, much less hundreds or thousands of people, part of them very reputable people that's telling the same story and never deviates over a long period of time. So I will sum it up by saying this. My PSA of the day is if you're ever in the South Jersey area and you see something that looks like a kangaroo that has huge bat wings and a horse's head, and it's emitting blood-curdling screams, don't panic. There's only one account of the Jersey Devil that ever harmed another living creature, and that was a dog. It's never harmed a person. It's never even been alleged to.
Can we take Ramona up there and see what happens? Because she's
possibly.
been mouthy today.
She's very mouthy.
She wants to be part of the show so
Haven't
bad.
given her enough attention. But yeah, this is one 90% of the way through my research. I was like, yeah, this is just another one of the stories that only Stephen would buy into. And then I come across the 1909 sightings. And again, this has left me thinking, I don't know how you get this number of people to say the same thing.
Yeah.
There's numerous different newspapers that reported on it. Different police departments are saying that they are shooting at it.
Wow.
I don't know how you get this number of people. It reminds me of the Phoenix Lights. I think that Brett did that one.
Mm-hmm.
I did the, what was the name of that forest over in England?
Yeah.
Anyway, I did that story the night he did the Phoenix Lights. And that
was an excellent show.
It was.
That was excellent podcasting, by the way. You should check out that episode.
Absolutely. But anytime you get a great number of people who are all telling the same story, they don't deviate to a significant degree ever to the end of their lives, there's got to be something there. That number, and I'm not saying that, that what they said is exactly true, but something very out of the ordinary happened for these people to be telling this story.
The Christian County incident where the family was attacked by whatever it was for 11 hours.
Sure.
That was 11 people in a house that was attacked. And they never changed their story for all those years.
Something causes this. So I'm not saying that this strange animal exists. Again, we'll put a picture of the Jersey Devil up, and it's a weird looking dude. But yeah, it's one of them that I don't think you can easily write off and say that it's all completely made up. I don't know what it was, but something was going on. What do you think?
Crazy. Well, I think that the Jersey Devil has a lot more going for it than Chupacabra. Maybe Chupacabra grew wings when he got to Jersey.
There you go. One and the same.
I doubt it because, but
can't prove it.
Here's the thing.
Wrong.
I looked up some pictures of the Jersey Devil.
Okay.
And there's a couple of obvious fakes, right? Did you see the one picture of like the goat that they had superimposed with wings?
And you got to remember, part of these is like anything else. It's some guy that's writing a newspaper article and he's trying to sell more copies.
Right.
So, yeah, you have to take it with a grain of salt.
What about, first of all, I'm more concerned with why is someone who lives in New Jersey having 13 kids? It's expensive to live up there.
In the late 1800s, early 1900s.
It's still more expensive to live up there than Kentucky.
My mother was one of 12 kids, and she was born in 1941.
Wow.
And she was the first, second, third, fourth oldest. So that
12 kids.
She was one of 12. My father one of 6.
Can you imagine?
Well, keep in mind back then, in those days, what was the primary reason people had children?
To help with the farm.
Free work.
Yeah.
Free work. And really wanted boys. And then, sadly, you hear about even to this day in some countries in the world where they're still killing some of the children if they're girls.
Yeah.
Because it's not what they want.
That was one of the best things China finally did was get rid of the one-child rule.
Yeah. Now they're at the opposite end of the spectrum. Now they're paying people to have more.
Yeah.
Boy, you and I can take a topic and go from that to anything. Somehow we just went from cryptids to China's one-child policy.
If y'all don't have a poodle, I would firmly recommend y'all get a poodle.
I thought you was going to offer to give them Ramona.
No, I love Ramona. I would never give her up. She's got a mouth and she's very sassy.
Yes,
but
a lot of personality in this one.
But I wouldn't give her up for nothing. She's a good girl.
Yes, she is.
Well, let's talk about Chupacabra. Is it newsworthy, Jerry? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Think I'm going to have to give that one a thumbs down.
Me too. If I never hear Chupacabra again, it'll be a minute too late. I'm done with Chupacabra. What about the Jersey Devil?
I'm intrigued enough to think that I would like to hear more.
Yeah?
I really do.
I'd like to see some proof, but
Absolutely.
that means I'd like to hear more about it. So thumbs up.
Thumbs up it is.
Wow. We are on the same page this week.
For second or third week in a row.
That's crazy. We are hanging
Those
way.
never cease.
We've got to stop that. So guess next week. Stoked. Big topic. Got some videos uploading this time. I already did one while we were sitting here. How about that?
Very nice.
And then so a lot of news and good things happening to us here at Newsworthy. So glad you're all here for the ride. Man, that episode is really interesting. And if you'll stick around for us for just a few commercials, we have another great story to tell you.
Hi, this is Ed Locke with USA Mortgage. When it comes to buying a home, the process can be overwhelming and confusing. With so many options, it can be hard to know where to start. That's why it's important to work with a certified mortgage loan originator. I have the knowledge and expertise to guide you through the process and find the best mortgage option for you. I will work with you every step of the way to ensure that you are getting the best deal possible. So if you're looking to purchase or refinance, please reach out to me at 502-680-0953. So don't take on the stress of buying a home alone. Work with me and I will make your dream a reality. Trust the professionals and make your home buying experience a positive one. MLS ID 448908, DAS Acquisition Company, LLC, doing business as USA Mortgage, MLS ID 227262. This is not a commitment to lend. Additional terms and conditions apply. USA Mortgage is equal housing opportunity.
If you want us to review or rate your product on air, if you have suggestions for new episodes, awesome ghost stories, or anything else, please reach out to us. Our email address is newsworthyWithSteveandJerry@gmail.com. Our text number is area code 540-709-1318.
And now, back to the story.
1, go.
Tonight, Jerry, for the bonus story, we're going to talk about the town of Whittier, Alaska. It's known for having nearly its entire population living under a single apartment building.
Oh, my.
The building is called Beseech Towers, a 14-story apartment complex that houses about 90% of the town's 272 people. This has earned Whittier the nickname, a town under one roof. The building, originally constructed as an army barracks, now serves as a cozy condominium. It features a general store, a post office, mayor's office, a police station, laundromat, a health clinic, and a heated indoor pool. Whittier, Alaska is accessible only by air or through a single-lane tunnel that stretches over 2 miles to the neighboring town of Maynard Mountain. The town's weather conditions can be harsh during the winter, making Beseech Towers a convenient and practical way of living. In addition to Beseech Towers, there's a second condo building where the remaining residents live, and the town's school and gym are located in a separate structure. However, they're connected with an underground tunnel, allowing for easy access during the winter months. Do you want me to book your trip today, Jerry?
No, absolutely.
And Jerry, if you can't see the light,
Be the light.